What's up, everybody? This is Screenwriter Randall Rydell Russell, bringing you the second part of the process. Each episode, I break down tips and tools and my inspiration to become a screenwriter. And, the information I give you, maybe you can take with you on your own journey or just listen and kind of just join in on all the fun. Now, this is the part where I break down my favorite screenwriters. So today it would be screenwriter number 6, and I think this is one everybody will agree with. He's pretty much a king of the action genre, kind of revitalized all that in the 80s. This is none other than Shane Black. Now, Shane Black came into the game in the mid-80s. Originally, I believe he wanted to be a homicide detective or just a detective himself. Growing up, he was really into comic books and pulp novels like Dashiell Hammett, just hard-boiled crime stories and things like that. And he went to school with Fred Dekker, who still is a cult classic director of the movies Night of the Creeps and The Monster Squad, both two of my favorite films. They lived in a place called the Pat of Guys. It was a sorority with the two of them, Ethan Wiley, who wrote the House movies, and a bunch of other filmmakers. Ed Solomon and Chris Matheson, who wrote the Bill and Ted movies. Just a whole bunch of people that became screenwriters or directors or actors or whatnot, all went in and out. Shane Black ended up selling his script for Lethal Weapon, I believe, in 85, 86. And that's what kind of put him on top. And he also wrote on The Monster Squad with Fred Dekker. He did all the cop stuff, and Fred Dekker wrote all the other stuff. But what made him such a go-to writer was the fact that he played Hawkins in Predator, and he also did uncredited rewrites to Predator. A lot of people say that he didn't, but there was, proof that he did or whatnot. So it's neither here or there. They're just possibly rumors, but I can guarantee some of the stuff in Predator came from Shane Black because it kind of shows. All right. Number 1, as always, and should always be everybody's number 1, I feel like, the first Lethal Weapon. I used to watch this as a little kid with my mom. The script that he wrote was just such a good buddy cop film. The action was realistic. It was fun. It was a popcorn movie, but still realistic. It put Mel Gibson and made him a star. I know he was doing all the Mad Max movies, but him and Danny Glover had such good rapport. I mean, there's 4 Lethal Weapon movies, but this first one's fantastic. And just signature Shane Black. There's humor in it, but it's still very violent. He also wrote an initial script for Lethal Weapon 2, which he called Play Dirty. The script, I guess, was considered too violent for Warner Brothers, and they didn't like the ending because in the original ending for Lethal Weapon 2, he wanted Riggs to die. Warner Brothers did not want that because they wanted sequels. So Shane Black quit. They brought in Jeffrey Boehm, the screenwriter for The Lost Boys, which is my favorite movie, and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, to kind of take Shane Black's story and kind of write it out. So Shane Black actually only got a story credit for Lethal Weapon 2, which sucks. So I would have loved to see what he did with Lethal Weapon 2, but Lethal Weapon 1 is still a classic. All right, number 2 from him is one of my personal favorites, and it's just one of the best action popcorn movies of the 90s. That's none other than The Last Boy Scout. This movie, just over-the-top action, one-liners galore. Like, they make fun of the fact that you have to say one-liners when you punch somebody, which is, I think, hilarious. The chemistry between Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans is really good, but behind the scenes, I guess they didn't get along at all. They constantly argued, but it doesn't take away from the fact that this movie is just so good. Total Shane Black script. He got paid... He was the first screenwriter to get paid, like, I think $1.5 million or something for this movie. And he was thinking about leaving writing because he was so depressed and stuff after the stuff with Lethal Weapon 2 and in his personal life. But I think this kind of revitalized him. And then also Danielle Harris, who's one of my crushes growing up and still kind of is, was Bruce Willis' daughter and had a really good part in it. And Taylor Negron, an underrated actor, rest in peace, also was so good in this movie as one of the villain's henchman. So if you haven't seen it, get under the rock that you're under and go watch Last Boy Scout. It's a classic. Number 3 is what I consider one of my favorite Christmas movies. A lot of people disagree. Oh, and by the way, Lethal Weapon 1 is a Christmas movie too. If you don't agree with that, I don't know what to tell you. But Long Kiss Goodnight, another Shane Black, just over the top action, and I mean over the top in a good way. Great one-liners, great sequences, character dialogue. Samuel Jackson and Gina Davis are just so good in this movie. The stuff that she says in this movie is just really, really cool. Like when she kills the guy that breaks in their house, and that meek housewife goes away, and she's like, "Chefs do that." Just so good, so good. So, yes, number 3, Long Kiss Goodnight. Shane Black took kind of a hiatus for a long time, and I think he may have just done uncredited stuff for a little bit. But number 4 on my list would be kind of his comeback movie, which I think is so good. It's not really action, but it's very, it's Shane Blackish. It's that detective noir type thing. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. This brought Robert Downey Jr. back as well. And so did The Singing Detective, which was another one that's really good as well. But this movie, his chemistry with Val Kilmer as Gay Perry, which is, Val Kilmer's so good. Like, I hate that he's going through all the health issues he's going through because he's that good, and he shouldn't be going through what he's going through. But, this movie right here, it's so Shane Black. It's just, it's so fun, and he directed it. So he was able to create the script and direct it and just give us a really good, comedic film noir action film. So if you haven't seen it, boom, this one. All right, last but not least, I don't own it, and I'm mad I don't own it. I've had ample opportunities to buy it, but we're still going to talk about it. It's none other than The Nice Guys. Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling played just a superb duo in this movie. The fact that they're both kind of like doing their own thing to do solve this crime, it really brought stuff to the foreground with them, and just good dialogue, good sequences, and it's really like made for people who love film. Shane Black just knew what he was doing with this movie, and I just wish for him to do much more stuff. Now, other movies he's done that I left off the list but I still enjoy, like I love Last Action Hero. But I feel like Zach Penn kind of should get the credit for it, because I know that he put his all in. They just rewrote the whole thing. It was Shane Black wrote it, even though it's like a script making fun of Shane Black's action scripts or whatnot. But that's neither here or there. But it's definitely something that people should watch and really, take heed and just know, like, hey, this is what he did. He also did Iron Man 3. Iron Man 1's always going to be my favorite Iron Man film. I can't stand Iron Man 2, like, at all. A lot of people, it's like low on my list. It's like bottom of the barrel for the MCU movies. But Iron Man 3 is not bad. And it's got its Shane Black isms in it. But honestly, the ones I mentioned are the ones that are my go-tos for him. And he's got one called Play Dirty, which is the title for his script for Lethal Weapon 2. But I think it's based on the Parker series, like the one that Jason Statham did. That's kind of based on also the movie that Mel Gibson did called Payback. And there was another one in the 70s with Lee Marvin called Point Blank. I believe that's the same character. So he's doing his own version of that. So hopefully that does good. And that concludes, favorite screenwriter number 6, Shane Black. Leave comments in there, and if you want me to talk about another screenwriter I like, let me know. And we're gonna be changing up this coming week with new things I'm gonna be doing. And again, I thank y'all for coming, and we'll see you next time.